Hello my friends, it's Ranger Russ from the Meigs Nature Center. I'm starting live a little early, and let me flip the camera around. There are two birds circling over here, a turkey vulture and I believe an eagle. Looks like a bald eagle circling right there. This is really cool. I don't see the turkey vulture any longer, and I'm not sure how well this is showing up for you. It's really bright out here, so I'm not able to see the screen very well. But that beautiful big bird soaring there with the beautiful colors underneath looks like a bald eagle to me. So how cool is that? I wish I had my binoculars. All right, so again, I am starting a little bit early, but let me flip the camera back around. So today, very special program. I am at another state park, so I am on the road, but I want to let everybody know tomorrow we've got another very special program. Dr. Megan Linsky will be on talking about backyard wildlife. She is from the Connecticut Ag Experiment Station. So we're really excited to present that program. You can watch it on Zoom if you go to meigspointnaturecenter.org and visit the calendar of events. You can click on that event and it will send you a link for our Zoom, or you can watch it live on Facebook. So really excited for that. Continue to watch these programs. These will be Tuesday through Friday at 11. The Saturday programs begin at 10. So a little bit earlier on Saturday mornings. Still not too early though. Now, today's program, I am at West Ridge State Park. I am on Lake Wintergreen, and before we get into the details of this, let me show you here. This is the lake that I am out on, and looks like the eagle has moved off. I do not see it any longer. But let's do a quick safety on ice. Now, I did a program at Day Pond State Park. You can watch that in the virtual learning center at meigspointnaturecenter.org. But what I need to let everybody know, 4 inches of ice, that's the minimum before you can walk on 4 inches of ice. They say 4 inches of ice holds about 500 pounds, so you're perfectly safe if there's 4 inches of ice. It's amazing, if you add another inch of ice, you get up to 800 pounds. So 5 inches of ice can support 800 pounds of weight. Let's turn the camera around and show you the beautiful part of this lake. I stayed in the shade here. It's really bright out in the sun, and I thought it would mess up the camera. So this is now, I'm pretty sure Lake Wintergreen is a man-made lake. It kind of looks like there's a dam at that far end. It's not a large lake, 44 acres. I was not able to find out how deep it is. So if anybody knows how deep this lake is, I don't believe it's very deep. Now, the area that I'm in is nice, and the ice is nice and thick here, but I'm not going to venture out too far. I can see there's melting on that far bank, so I'm just covering this little area here just to give you a view of this beautiful lake. Now you can see many people have walked over this lake when it was covered in snow, and their footprints are still visible. Actually, it looks a little the ice looks a little thin over there, so we're staying over here in the shady area where it's much thicker. So let's move off the lake here. It's a lot tougher walking on ice with other people's footprints. It's uneven. It makes it tough. Okay, so here we are. Again, this is a good sized park. West Ridge State Park is almost 1,700 acres. So it's almost 700 acres more than Hammonasset. And you're not able to go up on the upper part, the scenic overlook. At this time of the year, that road is blocked off. But we are able to walk all the way around. It's about 1.5 miles around this lake. And we're not going to do that today, but we're going to do part of it. So let's take a minute here and look around, because this is a pine grove. And I have said many times, this is a great place to look for great horned owls nesting or roosting, or any of the owls, because they like the evergreen cover. And what I'm looking for, if I'm looking for owls, I'm not looking in the tree, I'm looking on the ground. So right now, I'm looking on the ground. I'm seeing a lot of dog tracks, a few people tracks. This is a well-traveled path at all times of the year. The parking lot only holds 30 cars, and it gets filled up very quickly in the good parts of the year. And right now it's over half full. There's well over half full. All right, let's continue to look around here. There are some big, beautiful white pines. Let's show you how tall these trees are. Look at that. Big, beautiful white pines. Now, one of the things around reservoirs, they very often planted red pine, white pine, evergreens were planted around the reservoirs when they made a man-made lake. All right, so I wanted to show you, I did see these earlier. So we're going to take a look at these shelters. Someone has spent a lot of time gathering sticks and building these stick shelters here around the lake. So we're going to look at those. We're going to look at those in a second, because this pine grove really extends over here. We're going to head over here and see if we can find any signs of owls. More tracks, and these are people tracks, unfortunately. It'd be nice to find some other animal tracks here as well. So it is a gorgeous day out today. I'm gonna guess the temperature is getting close to the 40s. Let's take a look here. Look what I just saw. See these beautiful red berries? That's partridge berry. And if you remember, I did a program a little while ago, a few days ago, about the chucker, which is in the partridge family. So these berries, I think these berries got their name because partridges ate them. Only reason I can think of to call it partridge berry. All right, we're going to look around on the ground here. See if we can find any signs of owls. So what I'm looking for on the ground, I'm looking for whitewash, I'm looking for pellets. Those are the main things you're going to see if there's an owl up above. I do see there's a lot of crisscrossing tracks here, and mostly people, but a few dog tracks as well. There's a little trail that several people have walked with their dog. So if anyone has any questions, anytime you want to post a question or a comment about this park or any of the other parks, I do want to let people know, the DEPs, we're asking you to please continue to have your masks. I've got a mask in my pocket. When you're out on a trail, if you're all by yourself, you're fine. But if you're on a busy trail, you want to have your mask. So that if you get too close to another person, you will be able to put your mask on. Let's look over here, see what we have. There's a low area right here. I don't feel like I'm much above the lake level right here. There's a little bank around the lake, but what's the bird chirping? I was hearing a cardinal earlier. Right now it's perfectly quiet, so I'm not sure. Let's see, I'm going to take a minute here and see if there are any other questions. Andrea loves Lake Wintergreen. Hello from Vermont. 25 degrees in Vermont. Wow, much colder up there. It's pretty beautiful here. I got lucky. I picked a good day to come to this park. All right. I'm not seeing any signs of owls. There are lots of pines, though. Again, all the way around this lake, there are pine groves, and that's why I really think that they were planted. Ooh, what's that? So if we look here, this tree obviously has died. Insects go into the dead tree, and then the woodpeckers work at getting them out. You can see there's sap around here. So when the woodpecker worked on this tree, it was still running sap. It wasn't completely dead. And this larger one, this one's still got green. This one's still alive. And look at the work that those woodpeckers have done on that tree. You can see the sap running out of it. That's a lot of work to get a hole that big. So this is a white pine. We can look up there and see. White pine, that's the largest tree that we get in Connecticut. They get up to 200 feet. And this tree is not dead, but obviously there's got to be some insects going in there, or the woodpecker wouldn't be spending so much time. And that is a fresh hole right there. This one right about there, that's a super fresh hole. Those woodpeckers were working on that. You can see there's a dead one that's down over there. All right, so let's, I wanted to look at this. This tree came down, the roots are still intact, but what happens when the water spends a lot of time around the roots of the tree, it softens the ground so much, and then a good wind will knock that tree right down. So this tree tried to grow along the water. This looks like a maple, so probably a red maple, also known as swamp maple, and I'm pretty sure it is. The shallow roots here, ground got too soft, and then a wind coming across the lake is going to be able to pick up more speed and just nailed this tree, knocked it right over. You can see the water, see that rusty color, and that's exactly what it is. That's rust settling out in this area, out of the water. It just means there's iron in the water. It's not necessarily pollution. I remember as a kid I always thought it had to be contamination of some sort to have that bright orange color, but it just means that there's iron in the water. All right, so look, there's a trail that comes right along here, and this tree fell right across that trail. Oh, look at that tree. I can see right through it. Holy cow. Let's see if I can show you guys this. If I can get the right angle. You see that tree with all the holes going right up it? There's one little spot that there's holes on the other side, and that tree still has green, just a little bit on the top. Just a little bit. That's another white pine. And those woodpeckers, oh, look. All right, so see, you can see there, it's a straight line. Those woodpeckers have worked a perfectly straight line up that tree. But if you look at the base here, there was damage at one time. This is not woodpecker damage. This split right here tells me that at one time there was an injury. This tree may have been struck by lightning, but it damaged, and it started to heal and grow around it. But it left the interior of the tree to rot. And that's exactly what these woodpeckers have been working on. The entire inside of this tree is rotted out. Now, Bob Kukta explained to me one time, you only need, I want to say he said 30% of the tree, of the outside of the tree, and it will still stand. It's structurally sound. Look at that. You can see right through the tree. This is so cool. I'm looking to see if there's any signs of an animal nesting, because down here, you can see right here, this is an acorn. So obviously a squirrel or some animal, probably a squirrel, most likely a squirrel, dropped an acorn in up above there and it fell down. And as I look inside, all I see is debris. There's leaves and twigs. That's not rotted tree. The rotted part of the tree is pouring out the bottom here. Look, got all this is the sawdust coming from the rotted tree. But animals have been piling stuff inside here. So I'm going to say there were probably a nest in here, you know, and the nests move further and further down as the tree rots out further and further. But look at that. That whole inside the tree is just rotted out. All right, let's spin around. Look for holes on this side. You can see the few holes there that caused us to be able to see through it. Now, if you look up right at the fork of the tree, right there, you can see that's a really bizarre way for that tree to grow. So this tree did have some sort of injury. You know, lightning could have struck it up there and caused it to grow funky like that. The tree lived for years after, but the woodpeckers are still working on that tree. And the insects have to be in there too. All right. Looks like a cactus skeleton. It does. How many holes? I didn't actually count the holes. We are at Lake Wintergreen, and it's at West Ridge State Park. So let's count the holes here. We have 3, 6, one super giant one, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 holes right there, not counting the big split at the bottom or the holes on the other side. That's a super cool tree. I love that tree right there. All right, let's continue. This is a little trail I'm on, sort of a trail. I'm not. It sort of bends over here, so let's keep going. Now, this park was acquired with land and water conservation money. That's a fund. I think that's mostly federal money, the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So that's how we were able to get this park. It's really nice to see all the different ways that Connecticut gets its state parks. You know, many of them were donated or left in wills to the state. Oh, look at that. Deer dropping, and that's a male deer. So you can tell the male from the female. The males stop and go to the bathroom all in one place. The idea behind that is they are marking their territory. The females, when they have to go to the bathroom, they just keep walking. They are not paying attention to that at all. So that's pretty cool. That looks pretty fresh too. I'm gonna say that's last night or maybe yesterday, but that is some fresh little deer droppings there. All right, let's continue down our little path that we found. We're coming up on those shelters I wanted to show you. Oh, there's lots of shelters. There's more off to my left, but let's look at these big ones first and then we'll go explore the others. So it looks like a survivalist built these shelters as demonstrations. There's a couple of different styles here. There's looks like it might be one straight teepee style. No, those are all lean-to. Oh, there's a teepee one over there. All right, we're gonna look at all of them though. So this is one of the things you can do if you're out stranded. You need a little shelter for the night. It looks like it takes a long time to build one of these. It actually doesn't. If there are plenty of sticks and branches on the ground, you can get one of these up in an hour. Something like this, maybe a little longer, because this is a giant one. But the small ones don't take long at all to construct. It's going to provide you a little bit of wind block. It's not going to be waterproof, so that's not going to help. Let's go inside here. Wow. Look at this. The tree that they leaned it against is a dead tree. Wow. A very dead tree. This is inside of the tree. No, it's not really a tree at all. It ends right at the top here, so that's why they used this. But if you were out stranded in a stormy night, it would be a good place to take a nap. Get a little bit of shelter from the wind. And again, it's not sheltering you from the rain completely, but any other sort of bad weather, you'll be pretty good. All right, let's take a look at this one over here. That one looks like it's got the thickest shelter structure. There's a little one right there. And then over here, we've got one, you can just stand right up and walk in this one. Oh, look what they did here. This is a cool thing. So if you don't have a lot of long poles, you can extend the length or the amount by putting these up, and then your shorter poles can go in there. So you don't need that circular. This is how you get away with doing a long sort of wall like this. Now you can see this is not a lot of shelter, but it's going to be better than nothing, especially if you're up against a natural log like that. And you're trying to be out of the wind. Wind is a killer when it's really cold. So you don't want to be exposed. The more you can reduce your exposure to the elements, the better chance you have of surviving the elements. All right, we're going to go over here because I see a neat technique that they use for storing firewood. It allows it to dry out. So you can just pile your firewood up between, look at that, that's all suspended right up in the air. And it's just between two trees that grow close together. You just start sticking your firewood in there and it'll keep it dry. Now you're going to do this if you're planning on spending some time in that location. And then this is more of a teepee style, just a circular. Looks like this one's not even completed yet. They could have done a lot more work on that one there. Very cool. Is it safe to have a fire in a lean-to? So it is, and it just depends on how big of a fire. You don't want to have a very large fire. You want to keep it nice and small. That first structure, you would have to have a very, very tiny fire. But this big one, you could have a good sized fire going in that one. And again, you just don't want to get your branches that are near the fire up to their combustion point. So it really takes a really big fire. The branches need to come in contact with the fire pretty much. So if you keep your fire small, looks like this one's growing on an ash. Oh no. Hickory. That's a hickory. All right. This one's a tight little one. All right. Here's some, look at this. There's damage right there. Look at that, all that digging. And it's a dog. There's dog tracks all around here. So somebody was walking their dog, and the dog obviously scented something in the ground there that it wanted to get to. Maybe a little chipmunk hole or something. That's too bad. Let's hope it was a coyote or something natural and not somebody's pet dog. This is a nice black birch that the dog was digging at the roots of. All right, did I miss any other questions? We're gonna go back this direction towards the parking lot. There's some big dog tracks here. Now remember, let's take a look at a dog track. There's a nice dog track. But as it melts, the dog track is going to get larger. So that's an important thing to remember when you're tracking and melting snow. If it's fresh snow, you're going to get a pretty accurate size, but melting snow, your tracks are going to get a little larger. There's a nice little pine grove back in this direction. We're going to go and check it out and see if we can find any signs of owls. Whoa. So many people have walked this trail. They packed the snow down and then it froze, and now it feels like you're walking on a frozen lake. A bit slippery in places. Now I am going to have to come back to this park in the summertime when we can go up to the top of the ridge. There's some great history up on that ridge, and I'll save that for that program. It's like some dog droppings right in the middle of the trail. Oh, I wish people would pick up their doggy poop. But yeah, the history of this park goes back to 1600s, so very cool place here. Now, if you look here, you can see the pond is just over there. But look, the water, there are puddles coming right up in here. Very cool park. I believe I've been to the top of this ridge, but this is the first time I've been down here at Lake Wintergreen. Yeah.
On Twitch?
Facebook. All right, so we're gonna come down here. You can see there's open water right there. And a beautiful cedar tree, cedar trunk. That trunk leaning, that's a cedar. Now, what I'm seeing here, there's people out on the water listening to music. This looks like a little fishing spot. Looks like people have been fishing here quite a bit. Let's see what we can, if there's anything in the water we can see. Now, I'm working with our water bureau, and I've found out that there was an algae bloom under the ice. I did not realize that we could get algae blooms, so I'm going to be doing an entire program on algae blooms coming up. Look for that very shortly. So I learned something new. I learned a while back too that occasionally you can find painted turtles under the ice, moving around under frozen lakes and walking across the top of them. So that was new to me. I would love to. I've never seen it myself, but the DEP have gotten reports of that activity. All right, this is a little stream coming up here. So I believe that there are several streams that flow into this Lake Wintergreen here. What we were back there, it just looked like a little runoff area. This is a full steady stream. And judging by the fact that they've got some extra culverts here that aren't even being used right now, I imagine this stream gets really going after a rainstorm or with the spring melts. It's beautiful though. Look, this a full trail? No, I don't see any blaze. Thought there may be a full trail. Looks like lots of people have walked it, but not a trail that goes up this stream. Wow, lots of tracks. Oh, it's right down to the bedrock. Look at that. I have a question about Meigs Point Nature Center having a collection bin for fishing line. We do have collection tubes throughout the park. They used to be brought to the Nature Center. They're not any longer. I'm not sure where when they empty those tubes where it goes. But we have one at the Meigs Jetty. There's one down in the campground somewhere. I think one at east or west. But yes, we do have those tubes where you can put your lost fishing line in, and it goes to our care department, which is oh darn, I don't remember what that acronym is for. Care, it's a fishing program where they teach people fishing and promote fishing for kids and things like that. They do recycling of fishing line. So when we get fishing line, it goes to them and they send it off to a company that can recycle fishing line. Okay, so here we are in another little pine grove. This is not just white pine. It looks like some hemlock in here. Looks like, ooh, it looks like there's a couple of old red pines in there. Which red pines were, we had a blight years ago. Lost a lot of those. So let's look around. Actually, looking on the ground, these look like Norway spruce. And I'm not seeing any Norway spruce. There's got to be a spruce in here somewhere. Take a look at this. This big tree is just chopped right off. All right, we're going to look through here, though, and see if we can find any signs of owls. It's a good spot to find them. I found a camera lens. If anyone has a Nikon that needs a lens, I now have an extra. Lens cover. Oh, I know what's going on over there. You hear the music. Looks like they're doing a live stream photo shoot thing over there. Out on the ice. There's another shelter. I wonder if the local nature center, West Ridge Park Nature Center, it's a town nature center. They may come out here and do a program building, like a survival program, building shelters. Here's another evergreen, mountain laurel. This is a deciduous evergreen, so it's a broad-leafed evergreen, a broad-leafed shrub, not really a tree, that does not lose its leaves. It's very cool. And there are actually some conifers that lose their needles. So when you think evergreen and deciduous, it's not always going to be that the evergreens keep their needles and the broad-leafed lose their leaves. Not 100%. Remember, there's always exceptions in Nature Center. This looks like it could be a little vernal pool. If the water gets really high, it could flow in over there. But for the rest of the year, this could be a nice little vernal pool. This might be a place to come and check out in the spring. Actually, not too much further from now. Now is the time when we will start to see wood frogs and spotted salamanders coming to little pools like this and laying their eggs. It's super cool. They'll do it, still snow on the ground, still freezing temperatures at times, and those frogs and salamanders are active, and they're getting their eggs in those vernal pools because then their eggs hatch and they can eat the eggs and tadpoles of the later salamanders and frogs that come along, and it gives them a food source because their tadpoles will be big enough to eat the others once they're there. Not seeing any whitewash or pellets. Now, after a rain, the pellet's just going to look like a little mash of fur. You might notice a bone or something, so that's really just what I'm looking for as I go through these pine groves. Let's take a minute, see if I've missed any questions. Mountains are covered with mountain laurel and rhododendron. I believe that they are related, the mountain laurel and the rhododendron. So, let's see, we have a message across from you. The lake, the pines took a big hit from storms in 2013. So, I looked at that area too as a place we might look for owl nests or just owls perching. Let's see if I missed anything else. No. All right, let's keep going. So again, this is a 1.5 mile long trail. People, very popular. Look, I found a deer track, finally. Very, very faint deer track. I'm going in the same direction it was. There's another one there, another one there. Look at this one. See this? The split hoof right here. Make sure you can see that. It melted out, but that was a deer track. And there's another one up ahead here. So there was a deer going. We're going to go in the same direction the deer was going. Won't be able to track it because there's not enough snow. And the ground is still, well, it's soft now, but it may have been frozen when the deer came through. We already know that there are deer here. Well, it's Connecticut. There are deer everywhere. We already found the droppings of a buck. Oops. Microphone wire got hooked there on a tree. Now I'm looking for deer. Or more deer tracks. There's lots to look for when you're out in the woods. Looking for signs of birds, signs of deer. You do need to take a moment though. Don't just look on the ground. I can't tell you how many times I've been zigzagging around looking for an owl nest or something, and then stopped and just looked up in a tree, and there's a big old bird just sitting there looking at you. Like, what are you wandering around down there for? Oh, ducks. As you guys can see them, they're in the bushes there coming out. Looks like 3 mallards, 2 males and a female. Heading out. They're feeding in open water. Looks like they're all that's dabbling right there, where they're working their beak through the muck on the bottom, seeing if they can find any snails or insect larvae or seeds or buds, anything organic that they can eat. That's really cool. Look at them go. Very shallow there. They don't even have to tip down into the water to get to the bottom. Okay. Let's head this way. All right, I'm a bit off the trail here. Let's get back on the trail. Still not finding any signs of our owl friends. Ooh, look at this pretty little grove of birch trees, though. And they're all like splitting off. Look, there's 3, that's a 3-brancher there. There's, looks like a 5-branch over there. 3-brancher right there. This right here, look at this tree. Is it actually 5 coming out of the same trunk? Not really. That back one there, actually there's 2 coming off the back there. I'd say that's a separate tree. I don't know, could be though. But there's 4 coming out of the same trunk here. How cool is that? And look, this one, you can see this? This was attached here for a long time. And as this smaller one got too large, it split off. It broke off. It's growing around and healing. This is growing in and healing. Let me see if I can zoom. I'm all the way zoomed out. But yeah, that's what happened right there. It was up against that. That's cool. Let's take a closer look on this and see if that's actually, I kind of think that this was a separate tree growing up next to this one, not a branch off the same trunk. But see this seam here, look at that seam, these 2 have grown together too. That's pretty cool. Okay. And we are just about back to the parking lot. Let's get out on this dirt road. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Ridgesides Trail, 0.5 miles. That's one of the Blue Blaze trails maintained by the Connecticut Forest and Park Association. We're always grateful to them. All right, so the parking lot is just up the hill there. Let's wrap it up right here. We can say, I want to remind everybody again, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we're going to have our backyard wildlife program. You can sign up for the Zoom link at meigspointnaturecenter.org. Under the calendar of events, just click on the event that you're interested in. Look ahead, we've got lots of programs coming up, beavers, fisher. There'll be some great wildlife programs coming up. You can get the Zoom links, or you can watch it on Facebook Live, just like this program. Please scroll down and look at the more recent programs. They are not up on our website yet, but they will be at meigspointnaturecenter.org. Or if you go to the Meigs Point Nature Center YouTube channel, you can find them there as well. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Continue to follow us and like us on Facebook. And until tomorrow, this is Ranger Russ coming to you from the West Ridge State Park, Wintergreen Lake. Thank you very much.